your life with someone who you love and you care about, and spending your life raising a family and wanting to take that family to the next level and have a marriage. But you are denied the fact and the right to have a marriage because the person that you love is of the same sex. This speech is about same-sex marriage, what it really is and what it really isn't. Take for consideration Jennifer Tobit, who is denied her inheritance of her spouse who died because her family does not recognize their marriage and her country does not recognize the marriage of her and her wife that took place in Canada. This is a court case that is previously and currently in front of the Supreme Court. Take for a minute also to realize that the things that some people say are not necessarily true. There are differences between civil unions and legal marriage. There are thousands of differences. There are thousands of rights that are withheld from people who are legally married, who are not legally married. Marriage is not encroaching upon anyone's religion, but it's about tolerance, and America was founded on the premise of equality. Civil unions lack 1,400 rights, including rights to parent children, rights to make medical decisions in emergencies, rights to take medical leave under the Medical Leave Act of 1993 for your spouse or an illness with your spouse's parents or their children, the right to petition for immigrants' rights, and to have the person who you married apply for citizenship through you and through that marriage. Rights of families of Social Security benefits and income tax, along with estate tax, and along with disability. There are also many military personnel who have same-sex marriages who are not entitled to housing allowances or entitled to have their spouse on their insurance or to even have their spouse take on their medical benefits or their GI Bill education benefits. These are rights that are inherently given by the state and by the federal government to legal marriages, but are not recognized because the Defense of Marriage Act strictly prohibits the federal government from recognizing any marriage that is not strictly between one man and one woman. Are there ways around this? Yes. People can draw up legal documents and spend thousands of dollars with attorneys to have the same rights, or they can have powers of attorneys and co-parenting agreements and wills, which would fix some of the basic holes in legal marriage. These are substitutes for legal marriage and are protection under the law, but not protection by the law. Patrick Henry said the Constitution is not an instrument to restrain the people, it is an instrument for the people to restrain the government. And the Defense of Marriage Act is being used to restrain the people, not freeing the people. Aristotle said the worst form of inequality is to try to make unequal things equal. The Civil Rights Movement proved this to us with the premise that separate but equal is not separate but equal, it's just separate. This same-sex marriage is not about encroaching upon religion, but about tolerance. The Bible in Mark 21:31 says, "Love your neighbor as yourself. There is no greater commandment than this." Marriage is not just a religious ceremony, but a legal and secular contract between two people. People are not forced to alter their beliefs simply to allow others to exercise their own in a tolerant manner. This country has a rich tradition of struggling to assimilate many diverse cultures in a tolerant nation of civil people who are free to be who they are and to love who they are. The principle of equal rights is what America was founded upon. That is what makes us one of the greatest nations on earth. Our forefathers were strictly anti-church and state. They believed that civil rights should be given and expanded upon, not taken away, and that religion should not be the basis of law. The civil rights movement, women's rights movement, all prevailed and were successful in spite of the beliefs at the time, because America is a great nation, ultimately sided with doing what is right and protecting the rights of its citizens. To summarize my speech, civil unions and marriage is not the same. There are 1,400 rights that are denied to same-sex couples that are granted to marriages. Not undermining religious beliefs. It is not at all about undermining or taking away from someone's right to believe the way they believe or feel the way they feel. It is simply about allowing people to love and be loved in a tolerant way. Equality is what America was founded upon. When we allow others to freely express themselves, we enrich our heritage and culture, and we make the world we live in a better and more tolerable place for us all. This is what the real premise of same-sex marriage is about. It's about love, it's about tolerance, and it's about letting people who have families have the same rights as other families.